Good morning, everyone. I'm Abhijeet Kulkarni, and I have Henning Kota with me, who's the project director with Nord Supply, and I'll be interviewing him for next 10 minutes. So, just to start with first, do you think that the current existing gas demand going up, or the projected gas demand, do you think the existing infrastructure for transportation gas is that sufficient, or do we need to invest more?
I think that is a clear question, and I can give a clear answer on that. Definitely, we need additional investments in infrastructure. We will have developments differently in different regions with supply and demand, and definitely we will have more infrastructure investments to ensure security of supply.
So, like going forward, how do you oversee like next 15 years the transportation landscape, say for example, in terms of pipeline will look like? Do you see more gas coming in from east to west or west to east, like some?
Yeah, I think 15 years maybe it's good. A good period, which is not too far away from today, but already giving an idea about the future. I think in principle the role of gas will increase, will be more important. So I expect a higher share in the energy mix on a worldwide level for natural gas, in combination with more and more renewables. As well, there's a technical fit. And in addition, I see different developments. If you go on a regional perspective, do we have a balanced situation between supply and demand?
Right.
And based on that, I think we will have more pipeline projects in some regions. We will have LNG investments, and as well we have areas which may be covered by shale gas without additional infrastructure investments. But that depends if you're in Asia, where the exception or expectation is to have more LNG imports. In Europe, you will have more pipeline gas imports for gas. So it depends on the region.
Okay. And talking of LNG, like how do you see, is there a balance in terms of how much we transport or how much do we convert everything into gas into LNG? Is that like a threat to the transportation business, like LNG business?
At the end, you could say from a transportation point of view that's a competition. But I think in the long run the competition is not answered by prices and spot market situation. I think in the long run it's determined by just geographical aspects, where you have big demand areas like Europe and big supply bases like Russia, then it's more likely to have additional pipelines because in the long run they are more competitive. In Asia it's different. So for example, to provide Japan with pipeline gas is more or less, today everybody would say it's impossible due to the deep water there between Russia and Japan. So they are dependent on LNG, and that is an increase for LNG. There's no competition to any pipeline gas in that region.
And what is like a biggest risk to your business? Is it geopolitical or technical? How do you weigh the risks?
I think the key question, and maybe that in a negative way you could say the key risk, but I see it as well as a key chance or opportunity, is to get on a worldwide level an understanding that natural gas is cleaner than coal and therefore good, and cheaper than renewables. So if you have this dilemma to go for affordable energy and for clean energy, you cannot have nor one extreme, neither the other extreme, and gas is supporting both criteria, and therefore, but that needs to be understood and accepted, I think, on a worldwide level by politicians, by the public, by everybody, to go for it. And that is something where I think the gas industry still has to do quite a lot of work to work in that direction.
So there's a bigger role for government or politicians to play here too, and probably we need to exist in harmony, all these sources of gas.
But I would say it's not only the governments, that's one part, it's the public opinion, it's as well the companies being involved in the business. Everybody who has some stakes in it has to do and has further to work in that direction.
Okay, going forward, there's been a lot of debate in the industry about carbon capture and sequestration, CO2, storing them. Do you see like in the future there are going to be CO2 pipelines transporting somewhere to the to the fields where you want to store it, or has there been any such kind of developments happening?
No. I'm not aware of any real development in that
Right.
direction, having pipelines for CO2. Maybe that could be a scenario, but from my perspective from today, that's just a dream for the future, but not a realistic base as of today. But we may see in 10 years if that scenario has changed or not.
And just to round it off, since this whole program is about youth, we'd like to have some advice from you to the young professionals or the new generations who want to join the oil and gas industry.
Yeah, I think I can only say for me, when I was leaving the university, then I was a business consultant for a US consultancy, and then I went not to the car manufacturer in Germany, which I was offered some jobs there, and all my friends said energy is boring and car manufacturing is much more interesting. I think if you understand the energy business and the role in the society and for the worldwide growth, it's very important and it's very changing. So it's not a stable, ongoing business, and I can only say I've now worked more than 20 years, no, almost 20 years in that industry, and for me it's still challenging, very interested, and I can only recommend if you are interested and others being here, go for it.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. It was a very
Thank you as well.
discussion, and thanks again.